They say monsters don't exist. But what if I told you they walk among us, in plain sight? Imagine the chill creeping down your spine when you're alone. The unsettling sensation of eyes boring into you from the shadows. Yet, when you turn, nobody is there. Picture yourself in a crowded grocery store, heart racing, as an inexplicable dread clings to you like a dark, dark cloud. Monsters are real. This is American Whiskey, and every Friday we get together for Sip and Solve, where we dive into the bone-chilling tales that remind us of darkness lurks just beneath the surface. All right, guys, welcome to American Whiskey. And before we get started, we always like to talk about our best friends, family over at Burned Out Winery. We can tag them, tag Julia, so we can get her to hear this. But before we get started anywhere else here, we're going to play Burned Out Winery commercial. If you're looking for a unique wine experience, check out Burned Out Winery. Founded by a team of siblings who turned their passion for winemaking into a thriving business. They focus on crafting exceptional small batch wines from Moscato to tart cherry and spiced apple to their delightful sangrias. There's something for everyone. Each bottle tells a story, complete with a creative name that reflects their journey. Their wines are not only fantastic, but they're also affordable, making them a great choice for any occasion. You can easily order online at burnedoutwinery.com or connect with them on Facebook. They deliver. Whether you're local or out of state, they'll ship right to your front door. Support this hardworking team and savor the taste of Burned Out Winery. This is Big Sturge with American Whiskey. All right, guys, it's kind of weird feeling because I feel like we haven't really done much on the podcast since Michaela left back for Oregon. So welcome back. It's Friday. It's Sip and Solve. We've got a case for you that Michaela is going to talk about. But before we do that, I'm Big Sturge.
I'm Justice League.
And I'm Michaela.
And Levi's over here on the computer doing all the keyboard stuff and all the whatever you want to call it production. But guys, we can go around the horn, talk about what we're sipping on. And of course, I'm always sipping on whiskey and pop. So I got a 0 calorie, Baja Blast Zero.
Yeah.
With JTS Brown, which is like a $20 bottle of liquor. And I think it's freaking phenomenal.
Michaela?
I'm sipping on Ecliptic Starburst IPA. Wait. It's one of my favorite easy drinking IPAs. It kind of has some like tart citrus notes like a hazy IPA, but it's really crisp.
Sounds good.
So
sipping on water.
I got a good old Baja Blast from Taco Bell.
Dylan's going sober.
Can't beat it.
Delicious sipping. Proud of you, bud.
Justice League is going sober.
But we did have some good news for people.
What?
So Larkin, unfortunately, this past week he ended up in the hospital. They thought it was some infection, right? He had a fever.
Remember, he has leukemia.
From what we saw, they thought it was going to be another lengthy stay until they figured it out. He only spent 6 days and 5 nights in the hospital, and he's back home.
Yay!
And not just 6 days. It was a long 6 day or 1 week, 6 days.
Right.
But with that being said, they thought he could be there for a long time, and it seemed there for a minute. It was a pretty sketchy situation. and
Yeah.
we were praying for him, and we were just, sending everything good vibe wise as we could. But we're so glad that, he's home and it sounds like he's recovering.
Right.
So, and when it comes to that boy, he's family to the podcast. We love that family. So rock on, Larkin. And we're glad you're home, buddy.
I'm super glad to hear it.
So we do got our sip and solve tonight, and Michaela, we're going to let you share this story, and we'll share some thoughts.
Yeah. So we're going back to the 1920s. In September of 1922, the bodies of Eleanor Mills and Edward Hall were discovered in a field in New Jersey. Both of them were on their backs. They were sitting lying next to each other. They were both killed with a .32 caliber pistol. The man was shot once, and the woman was shot 3 times. So just someone was more upset with her than anyone else.
Targeted.
Yeah, very targeted. Like, I want you to die, but I want you to be more dead.
Mm-hmm.
The bullet entered the man's head over his right ear, exited through the back of his neck. The woman was shot under her right eye, over the right temple, and over the right ear. So just pow, pow, pow.
Yeah.
Very much wanting to just cover all bases. The police officer at the scene, and we'll get into who it was, noticed that the woman's throat had also been severed, and they did find maggots already in the wound, so they had been dead for well over 24 hours. The 2 folks who were murdered were Edward Wheeler Hall, who was a Episcopal pastor raised in Brooklyn, New York, received his theological degree in Manhattan. After graduation, he moved from New York to Basking Ridge, New Jersey, then to St. John the Evangelist Episcopal Church in New Brunswick. He was living in New Brunswick at the time, and he was buried in a cemetery all the way back in Brooklyn.
Okay.
The woman who was found was Eleanor Reinhardt Mills. She was married to James E. Mills. And if you'll notice anything about their 2 last names, they don't match up. And back then, when people got married, you took the name of the husband. So the fact that they were both shot and found together leads you to believe something may have been amiss. Eleanor was...
And the husband was, her husband was alive, I'm assuming?
Yeah, her husband was still alive, as was the wife of the Pastor Hall.
Okay.
So Eleanor's husband, James, was a full-time janitor at a local elementary school and was also working as a sexton at the same Episcopal church. And Eleanor was in the choir of the church that Edward was pastor of. It turns out that the 2 of them had been having an affair for quite a long while, and also found at the crime scene were all of their love letters that they had written to each other, and they were all ripped up and strewn across the bodies.
So, I don't want to assume, but were police at the moment thinking, obviously, affair, so jealous spouse?
Yes. So the wife of the pastor had several brothers, and while there are a number of different suspects in the case, they were the primary focus, though no convictions were ever made.
Trials? Were there any trials?
Scrolling down. So during the investigation, main suspects were Hall's wife and her 2 brothers, Henry and William. The original investigation yielded no indictment, so no trial ever actually came to fruition. Continued speculation occurred in what became the New Yorker, but at the time was the New York Daily Mirror, which was kind of like a gossip rag. It wasn't full National Enquirer, but it was something that at the time was termed to be 90% fanfare, 10% information.
Sounds like
So-
all media now.
Yeah. So comments made by a man associated with one of Mrs. Hall's, the pastor's wife's, housekeepers led the current governor at the time to order a second investigation and a trial in 1926. Henry, the one brother, won a bid and was tried separately from the other 3 accused. He was like, I had nothing to do with this. I'm just related. So he ended up not ever being tried, but there was eventually a trial. Not after the first initial situation, but later on, because of this gossip rag, the governor was like, no, we gotta trial something.
Mhm.
Okay, so sorry, I was punishing
Oh, you're-
Miss Maya because she was being bad.
What'd she do?
Oh.
I caught her trying to steal another box of cereal.
Oh.
I
Did
walked.
she get it?
I don't think she got in it, but when I walked in there and snuck in there, she literally was standing there with it in her mouth.
She was like, well, nobody here but us chickens.
Back. Oh,
But so, did we hit on why it never went to trial, or why the first time it never went to trial, and then
No, not specifically why.
why they were found not guilty?
So we just covered that after the initial investigation, no trial, but then the New York Daily Mirror ran a story about it. So then in 1926, 4 years later, then there was a trial, but we hadn't got into full.
So the initial investigation, the reason why no indictments or anything ever went to trial, there are 2 counties there. It is Middlesex County and Somerset County. They had a feud going on of who had jurisdiction, even though it was in Franklin Township,
Mhm.
where Somerset County was.
right.
So obviously they should have got jurisdiction, but Middlesex County, the Middlesex County New Brunswick Police Department got there first. So they're sitting there fighting like teenagers of who
Yeah,
has
because that's what's
jurisdiction
important here.
right.
over 2 dead bodies. And
Mhm.
all of you, there's always going to be a swarm of people come when there's a bunch of cops.
Yeah, for sure.
So they didn't secure a crime scene at all.
And probably then you would think there's probably more nosy people
yes,
and there because there wasn't social media, there
There's
wasn't
not
Facebook
news.
Lives.
there's
so-
none of that stuff.
Before we get any farther, though, I just want to make sure because I've not looked this story up at all. I just wanted to sit back and hear it. So we've got a woman and a man both at the same church. One's in the choir, so seems like pretty involved with the church. And the man that was found with her
Mhm.
was the pastor of the church,
Correct. And not her husband.
And there were love notes.
and
written
both of
between
them, both of them were married.
Yes.
Yes.
What a church! That's okay.
All right. So to keep going with why it never got tried in the 1920s, when all these people show up and the cops are fighting amongst each other, people are like, "Oh, I can get close." So they actually was able to trample all over the scene. They took souvenirs and passed the calling card, like the love notes, around amongst each other.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no DNA.
Well, there was no DNA back then.
No, well, even
DNA wasn't a thing.
I'm saying, even if they had that stuff today, it passed through so many hands and feet
Mhm.
stuff, you cannot prove they did it.
Mm-hmm.
and it was definitely ruled out like not possible suicide,
Yeah.
murder, suicide.
Because especially given the positioning of the bullets and that because she had more shots than he did, and the way the bodies were positioned, if he, I guess, technically could have laid her down and done that, but there wasn't that much blood found at the scene.
Right.
So it was clear that the bodies had been positioned somewhere other than the scene of the crime. And they
Oh.
were specifically positioned at the foot of this crab apple tree that was oftentimes like a lover's lookout. So in all likelihood, the crime didn't happen there, and they were just positioned there. All of the love notes were gathered,
That's like
torn
a
up into
sign.
confetti. Yeah, like spread
And
all over them.
back then they couldn't prove this kind of stuff because technology and stuff.
Yeah,
But
like
today
not a-
they proved that he had bruises just based off their notes behind his ear and neck, where it shows a sign of struggle.
Okay.
So let's see. So during the trial, the trial began in November of 1926, Somerset County Courthouse in Somerville. So they ultimately won the jurisdiction, but even then, like all of them had collected conflicting evidence. So even just trying to prove chain of custody or all of the information of who discovered what was such a shit show that it was never going to work.
Because they literally had nothing to go off of.
Yeah. So the trial lasted for 30 days and garnered so much attention. It was basically like the O.J. Simpson trial, but of the 1920s. People were talking about this and still have talked about it ever since, because it could never be proven what had actually happened. The prosecutor's key witness was Jane Gibson, who is a pig farmer on whose properties the bodies were actually discovered. So it was her crabapple tree. And the defense, in their defense attorney way, tried to portray Jane Gibson as an uneducated and crazy pig farmer and attempted to ruin her credibility. She also could never get her story straight. And oftentimes details would differ from when they were told to the police, when they were told to newspapers, and at the trial. And at the trial, she testified from a hospital bed that was wheeled into the courtroom. At that trial, all three of the defendants were acquitted.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, so it's crazy you brought up the O.J. Simpson trial, because I was literally typing in my computer just to see. The one thing that stood out to me is I remember the O.J. Simpson trial being very lengthy, like normal murder trials are. And this one only took 30 days because they didn't have anything.
Yeah.
O.J.'s was 134 days.
Mm-hmm. Which at the time, like 30 days was unheard of. It was like, nah, you're guilty. Bruh, get the fuck out. Get dead.
Right.
Yeah.
They
Like,
tried
He's a
to
piece of
prolong it.
shit. Goodbye.
Like they tried to prolong it so they could find something.
Yeah. They just were going through. There are, I think, a couple of other witnesses. No, just
did they have
only
ties
had
with,
the big woman.
but did the people on trial have ties with law enforcement, or like I
So
wonder about that. Like, did they have?
I
Did
had
they get
something about
special
that.
treatment? Because
Yeah, and
Yeah,
this
go ahead.
will be
I mean, hell, I wasn't even there, and I could tell you they probably did it. He
this
probably did it.
this will be very biased on some people. Miss Hall actually did have a lot of influence. She's related to many wealthy families in the town where the cops tried to take jurisdiction when they shouldn't have.
Yeah. Like the Johnsons of Johnson and Johnson level of connections.
The Nielsen's, the Carpenters, like she was related to multiple
So she
wealthy.
had a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, look how big Johnson and Johnson is now.
Probably because she was sleeping with everybody.
She's the one that was getting tried for murder.
Oh, sorry. Like I said, but well, okay. So the woman that was murdered,
yes, Eleanor.
Did she have what was like close ties with anyone? Like, did she have enemies? I guess other than
Not as far as I was able to find.
Like,
Like
was she a
she just
well-liked woman, or, you know?
yeah, I mean, she was in the church. She seemed to present as like a relatively caring, like nice
Christian
woman,
woman?
but she what's that?
Just a nice Christian woman.
I mean, she worked
Well,
as a
I mean,
singer for the school. They
She
had
said, "Well, I
kids.
mean, other than the pastor, but other than that, yeah."
yeah.
So I just you just look at this like you don't need a lot of evidence. I don't feel like
Yeah.
Oh, back then you wouldn't.
like what were the alibis?
The-
I'm interested about with that.
I don't think it ever got to alibis, just based on the fact that they had no credible evidence.
Yeah. They just fully went to discredit the witness. They also, because she was a pig farmer, the defense attorneys got immediately on the task of discrediting her. So all of the journalists and stuff were referring to her as the pig woman.
Yes.
Oh,
but
she's what the fuck?
No, like
It
You're
like
not a good witness. You're a pig farmer. Sorry.
Sturgeon.
yeah, exactly. Sorry, you're a pig
If you look
woman.
her up, it literally says Jane Gibson, the pig
The
woman.
pig woman.
What the fuck?
So she told investigators that her dog was barking loudly around 9 p.m. on the night of the murder. She went outside of her house and saw a man standing in her cornfield. She rode her mule toward the man, and as she got closer, she saw that there were 4 people standing near a crabapple tree, her crabapple tree. She said she heard gunshots, and one of the figures fell to the ground, presumably dead. She testified that a woman screamed, "Don't," 3 times. And she said she turned her mule right around and headed back to her house. She was like, "Nope, that is me done for the day." So she heard more gunshots, and when she looked back at the tree, she saw a second person fall down, presumably dead. And she testified that she heard a woman shout the name Henry. So in terms of circumstantial evidence, she rode up on her mule.
Okay, well, I'm wrong.
Uh,
I was about to discredit the whole running away on a mule thing, but they can get up to 15, 20 miles per hour.
yeah, he's
So they, I mean,
that's faster than a
can-
lime scooter.
a mule can go about as fast as I can.
Yeah.
pretty-
Fast as fuck, boy.
Yeah. So it's interesting though. Like, there's 2 options in my opinion. Either
Mhm.
they definitely did it, or 2, there was like a crime of opportunity, and these people were
Yeah.
Just
trying to.
murders. Like,
Well,
rob them.
they catch I think we talked about the one guy that was like murdering people in the 70s. Like they would sneak off in Lover's Lane, and then
Mm-hmm.
So
slaughtered.
not trying to be funny
I
about it,
just
but it's
wondered.
kind of like caught with your pants down.
yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. So like they were caught at that moment, and it was a crime of opportunity. But at the same time, the pig woman, why would she want to get involved with this anyways?
I'm just confused on
Why
the
would you want to get involved?
part that they
if she
literally
didn't-
took this to trial
Mm-hmm.
just on her saying she saw 4 figures.
Right. And thought she heard a woman say Henry, whereas the 2 Henrys who were suspected, one was never brought to trial, so not even a contender. And then the other one, Henry Stevens, who was a relative of the Mrs. Hill or Mrs. Hall, sorry. He you asked about an alibi. He testified that he was fishing miles away from the murder on the night of the killing, and 3 different witnesses corroborated his testimony.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
So yeah, there was one alibi presented.
Couple good fishing buddies can make that alibi.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you got a case of
Hey,
beer.
fellas, the other night we was over at the lake.
Yep.
What'd
Yeah.
you do?
And the fellas are over here like, "You slime dog, you were with the old lady, huh?
Yeah.
We got you. You were fishing."
Well, what's really, I mean, at the same time, it's kind of like it's 1922.
Yeah. Yeah, the
What-
murder
what's the-
happened in 22. The trial, when it eventually happened, was in 1926.
Was
So
there
it's also
much evidence? Like, what kind of evidence could you have then? Not a-
Jane, the pig woman's testimony. which is why they sought to discredit her immediately. Because
I mean,
all they had was the eyewitness testimony.
guess-
Obviously, the affair was known.
I
They
guess
had all the
what
love
we really
letters.
have back then is like feet, boot,
Prince.
Yeah.
prints, anything like that. But because the crime scene was trampled over by everyone just being nosy,
Yeah. It just like all
But
of that.
here's another weird thing. The bodies had maggots on them. So the pig woman saw the murders and didn't say anything?
Yeah.
For a long time?
Like, do you not ride your mule to the local constable and try and like say what you just saw?
I mean,
Like,
if you
when did
saw
she?
it, you didn't, like you guys are saying, you didn't report it or go back later and check on them.
Yeah.
I think she's a liar.
And the fact that
I
her
think
story
she
differed.
wanted to feed
like-
them to the pigs, and she got caught.
Yeah. I saw that movie. It's like Snatch.
Never heard of
I'm on
But-
to you, big woman.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that her story was so different between what she told the police initially, then also to newspapers, and then also at the trial, I think part of that is like 4 years lapsed between when the bodies were found and when the trial actually came to a head. So I can understand from the initial reports versus what happened at the trial, but the fact that the police investigation and the newspapers that were so into the story, the fact that those two differed so much, which had happened really close to each other, that I think is what makes me think she was a little grandstandy or like trying to capitalize on getting interviews. Or, I mean, she was a pig farmer. Like,
Try and spread her business.
No press,
So-
yeah. No
I'll never-
press is bad press.
If you see something like that or something traumatic like that happens in your life, you remember every single detail. You're not just, oh,
You
I
don't know
saw
that.
some shadowy figures.
You don't know that, though. Everyone reacts differently.
Yeah, I could see like a shock aspect. And then also, if it was truly like an execution style thing, like that would be difficult to see. So I could see your brain kind of trying to hide aspects of the crime from you, but
Why'd she get on the mule? Why'd she go there?
because it was faster.
I mean, like, why did she go out that way? Did she say? What made her get on the mule and go to the crab apple tree?
Investigate. Yeah, because if I'm a single woman who's like a pig farmer and I hear gunshots on my property,
Oh,
I'm
it was
not-
her. It was her dog was barking loudly at 9 p.m.
yeah,
and she was going to
And
investigate.
she didn't take a gun?
In the 1920s, everyone had a gun,
That's what I mean.
especially a hog farmer. Come on.
yeah. So I mean, I guess did she actually leave, or did she stumble upon the crime scene and?
Was scared to report it. She didn't want to be involved with it because she didn't want to, you know.
And she was like, I didn't see who it was. I just saw.
Mhm.
Did she have ties to them?
Not that I was able to see. I don't know if
Didn't go to
Dylan
the
was
church, I
able to find
assume.
anything, but I think the only tie was like that tree in that area was very much like the lover's getaway. So maybe at one point she just got tired of people sneaking onto her property to get some nookie, and she just was like,
In my
Get some
opinion,
nookie.
back
some
in the
nookie.
day.
"Going out for the nookie."
I'm gonna ask my player, care if I get some nookie?
So in my opinion, it's kind of like back in the day. Oh, people always said, "Oh, we didn't lock our doors, befriend our neighbor." Everyone knew everyone. So if she lived in the same area, she would know who they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who's getting nookie out there by the.
I feel like
True.
Sturge was onto something where he said like maybe she stumbled across it and she was like, "Oh shit,
100%.
I'm not going to say
Yeah.
anything. I'll just say I saw shadowy figures and I turned around and went home."
Like, how do you
Yeah.
explain 2 dead bodies that have been on your land for that long?
Yeah, and one of which is a pastor.
Yeah.
Especially if you claim to have witnessed it the night of the murder, but then they weren't discovered until 24 hours plus later.
I'm also curious about the pastor. Like, typically, which I could be totally wrong. Normally, like if you cheat, like you're a cheater, right?
Yeah.
So was he banging out other women? I wonder if they
Yeah, was he
investigated.
the only one?
I wonder if
Yeah.
the pig woman was one and she stumbled across and told him.
Well, I guess like I'm thinking Could it been a past? Could it be a past lover?
Mhm.
You know, I don't know.
Well,
Like, hey,
that's-
the Lord wants you to be forgiven, so I'm going to.
Well, that's
Mhm.
what I'm saying. Maybe it was Jane, and she had that relation, and that's why there was maggots on the bodies because she was like, "Oh, I'm not going to report it right away."
Yeah.
So there was one other like kind of theory about what happened. An attorney, William. That's a fucking problematic name to William Kunstler, spelled with a K. It's not that bad. Published a book in 1964 that was titled "The Minister and the Choir Singer." He released, which he then re-released in 1980 with additional editorial material. So we might be going back into the realm of gossip rags. But he theorized that the KKK had been responsible for the demise based on the facts that they were a very violent organization and active in New Jersey in the 1920s. Though he did acknowledge that the Klan had not previously killed anyone in the state and could only speculate why, but he wrote several books on it. So this was one of those like trying to connect the dots of, oh God, what was that one guy we had on here? He was obviously the Zodiac Killer too. I think the Zodiac Killer is who actually killed them in the 20s. Oh, I can't hear you guys now. I can see you, but I can't hear you. Oh.
All right, we're back.
Oh,
We were trying to figure
okay.
out the problem.
Okay.
We actually have a lot more comments than we can see. For some reason, it didn't pop up on StreamYard from Sturge's
Yeah.
account. So we have a lot more people commenting than what it actually
Than
is.
what it was showing. Yeah.
Thaddeus Huffman said, "Let me get a 107 though. You can't take our Coke mixer away from us."
Oh yeah. I have like 3 comments showing up.
Okay, so do we want to dive into who we think did it? I know it was 1920s, but everyone have an opinion.
Yeah, I've got ideas. I'm gonna use a restroom real quick though, and I'm also gonna refresh my browser so comments maybe show up.
Okay, so Michaela's gonna use the bathroom. Do you want to do a Schoolhouse Farms commercial search?
Perfect. Hell yeah.
Discover the taste of freshness at Schoolhouse Farms. Join Vaughn Davis and Beth Cole, passionate bird watchers and friends from York County, Maine, as they transform their love for nature into a thriving business. Since 2016, they have been dedicated to growing and distributing premium sunflower kernels, oils, gourmet popcorn, and heirloom grain products like corn, flour, and grits. What do they offer? Birdseed suppliers, high quality black oil sunflower seeds for local markets. Food retailers, a selection of sunflower oils, roasted kernels, gourmet popcorn, and heirloom cornmeal. Online shoppers enjoy gourmet popcorn and confection sunflower kernels from the comfort of your home. Floral markets, stunning sunflowers for Ohio-based florists. Distillers, specialty grains for brewing and distillation. Popcorn vendors, are you a kettle corn vendor? Talk to Vaughn or Beth about supplying your business with the lowest cost, high quality mushroom popcorn in the industry. Taste the difference. Customers can shop for delicious sunflower kernels, popcorn, flavored oils, and heirloom cornmeal and grits directly on their website or at selected retail stores and farmers markets across Ohio, Indiana, Maine, and New Hampshire. Their name pays tribute to the historic Freysinger School, built in 1862 on Davis Farms property. This one-room schoolhouse has a rich history, having served the community until 1939. Are you ready to connect? If there's an exciting opportunity to discuss, They would love to hear from you. Follow Schoolhouse Farms on Facebook today and become part of the community. This is Big Sturge with American Whiskey.
All right, we back. So Sturge, I can always just pull it up on my laptop and keep it on there. But Huffman said, sell me a 107. I promise I'll try it with some Diet Coke. So we will get one for you, Huffman, but we have to be there when you try this. All right, Michaela, keep it rolling.
Okay, so speaking in terms of who we think done it, I do honestly think that the one witness to the crime was potentially who did it. So I think that Jane, if not an actual affair partner with the pastor, I think either maybe was jealous or was just tired of people coming onto her property and fucking by her crabapple tree. And the fact that she like rode out on a mule, even Sturge said like everybody had guns back then. Like if you're just like tired, the one straw that breaks the camel's back, and you're just like, I'm done. I'm done. No more. No more.
Right.
And I think that also might have been part of why the defense attorney leaned so hard into discrediting her. They knew that they wouldn't necessarily be able to bring a case against her, but being able to discredit her as a witness and kind of steal the narrative from her, I think would be a worthwhile defense strategy.
I mean, that definitely would make sense. So I'm guessing that it was James Mills.
You think it was the Eleanor's husband, the janitor at the school and the sexton at the church?
Yes, because he had ties to both. He worked at the church. He worked at the school. I think he saw some things that raised some questions.
Mm-hmm.
And as a guy, that kind of stuff builds up and you kind of dive deep into it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that him not even getting looked at is very suspicious.
Okay, I know.
Yeah, I did think that was honestly kind of surprising that he wasn't even entertained or investigated as a suspect. Oh,
Go for it, Sturge.
Hey, unmute me. I'm muted. I'm fucking muted. I'm muted on my own fucking show. Listen, I don't know what I would do if someone was plowing my old lady. I don't know. I'd be very happy about it.
But would you take a 32 to somebody?
I don't know if someone was getting the nookie with the old lady, how I'd feel.
I know how
Okay.
you'd feel.
I don't know if I'm going to take him to the local apple tree and Lover Lane and, you know, I don't, hey, Big Kirk, blow me. But
Thanks,
anyways,
Kirk.
I don't know how I don't know that I would blow their brains out, but I will tell you this. It's got to be him.
part of
Gotta
me
be-
also thinks like kind of tinfoil hat. Like, what if the families of both of the two people who are in the affair, like, she said there were 4 people out there. And what if it was like the husband, the wife, and then the 2 brothers who actually were brought to trial?
So the husband and wife came together
Right.
and said,
They're
"What
like,
are you
hey,
doing tonight? You
your
want to go
spouse is
blow our
fucking my
fucking
spouse."
spouse's faces off?" I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
Rough. Like, what are you doing tonight? You want to go blow our spouse's head out off with a gun?
I mean, to be fair,
That's fucked up.
this was in the 1920s.
right.
It wasn't investigated at all. There
Yeah.
are very few facts to go off of. It is all speculation.
What if it was
Totally.
both of their spouses that did it together?
We'll never know.
I mean, that's been a trope
What's
in
that
like
skin about?
literary aspects all the time. Be like, you hear, or even just like if a dude is cheating on 2 girls and the 2 girls find out, then they get together and they're like, well, fuck this dude. We're done. And then they fuck his
Like
life
Big
up.
Kirk? Okay.
Like goodbye, Earl.
They're like Big Kirk.
Yeah, like it's
Oh,
in history for a reason because it's one understandable emotionally,
yeah.
but two, it's happened. It has happened.
Right.
Where both mistresses planned to kill their spouse. I've
Or
never.
well,
heard that.
where two mistresses plan to kill the dude.
You think that's
Yes.
you
No, I think it was a pig woman. I think she rode out on her mule. She said, "Not today, fuckers," and then no one ever fucked in her crab apple tree ever
Are you
again.
being for real though?
Well, I think with a little less tongue in cheek, I do think it was her. I think she might have either been jealous of the pastor having an affair with her, like, why her but not me? Or she was just trying to protect her thing. But the one thing where that theory falls off is like, where did she get all of the love letters?
Right.
And
Good
honestly,
night,
if
girl.
they were all torn up so small, how did they know that they were love letters between Eleanor and the pastor? Like,
That's why
what
I
if
asked
they were love?
earlier.
Yeah,
I
like what
asked
if they were
earlier,
love
was
letters
there
between the pastor and Jane?
Never know.
was he
and
the
she just
was
got
he the
flipped
whore of the
off and,
church?
I'm just saying her husband worked for the church and
Clearly-
for the school.
Clearly, not all pastors are great.
He knew
Right.
something.
Thaddeus will tell you we've talked about pastors and priests, so
Yeah.
they don't always make the best decisions.
No. I think the love letters is kind of the thing where the story, all of the theories, like both fall apart and lead to kind of big tinfoil hat moments. Because
Yeah.
how were they actually ever able to put together each of the letters, especially with how much the crime scene was stomped over? And they said that they were just torn up and thrown all over the bodies. So were they able to reproduce exactly what each letter said? Could they actually tell what was written on them? How do they know they were love letters between the two of them? Were they just love letters in general? Were they actually written by both the
Yeah.
pastor and the affair partner? Did they have handwriting analysis done? Like, that's one of the things that I think sticks out to me as the biggest intuitive leap that was taken by investigators is how could you have proven that they were love letters between the two of them and not just forgeries or not just anything else?
I take my opinion back now. I don't think it was the lovers.
Yeah.
I don't think it was their spouse. I think it was a jealous
Hmm.
previous of the pastor.
And that's kind of why I was leaning towards Jane. Is like, if they weren't love letters to Eleanor and they were love letters to Jane and she had been collecting them and then she found them out there with their dogs barking, like if it's such a small community, she knows what their siblings' names are.
Yeah.
So if she is just like pissed off and on her mule, goes out there, finds them together, plus Eleanor had the most bullet wounds in her head. So, like, obviously she's pissed off, like, at the dude, but she's like, but fuck you, bitch, you die.
Dang.
That's what I'm saying.
Just hypothetically.
Just hypothetically, die in Minecraft.
Yeah. I feel
But
like this is like wild because it's so old. You don't hear a lot about these old cases, which is also kind of sad because
Yeah.
like it's never going to be solved.
No.
You know.
Like, it's not like they're going to be able to shovel through the earth and find all of the fragments of the love letters and be able to reconstruct everything. Like, this is a case that's just never going to be solved. And all of the people who are involved with it are so far beyond the past, like the point of actual justice.
Yes. And, shame on all you pastors out there that are banging the ladies in the choir
Who are also married.
that are married.
Well, guys,
Shame on you guys.
like you said, this one's not going to be solved, but I solved one mystery tonight.
Oh, yep.
What mystery is that?
Big Kirk is going to teach me how to skateboard.
This shit his ass.
I'm
I
watching
thought you were going to say teach you how to
skateboarding
Dougie.
videos.
And to be fair, he's got bigger tits than I do, and mine are quite large.
But he does have a sweet tie-dye shirt.
I'll get you a tie-dye shirt, Dylan. I'll even make it for you.
Hey.
I live in Portland. I got you.
I've seen him ollie like 100 times.
So, yeah.
Can you even kickflip, bruh?
No, he can't. I don't think he's landed one yet. We're watching his videos. We don't mean to be shitty
He,
here.
he
but
just fell off the dryer thinking it was.
I'm talking
that's-
about Jane the
that's
Pig
almost
Woman
famous
murdering,
here.
and you're like, what about this bitch with big
Right. Salmon says, I think it was someone in the church.
Someone
I
in
agree.
the church would be her
Yeah.
husband.
No, I think someone in
Well-
the church is another woman or man, I guess, depending on where, how he was. Listen, I think he was a pastor for a long time too. So I don't think he was, a
Well, 'cause
nude,
here's the thing,
manipulating
if you-
woman. Like, honey, you need somebody to talk to? Come in my office. And
Yeah.
he's railing them
Why
out.
don't you have a seat?
Yeah.
Uh, I think I could see it being someone in a church who's like not even involved. Because if you've dedicated your life to something and you put this person who's communicating the word of God to you on not a pedestal, but you have expectations for them to hold up the ideals that are preached, and then you find out that they're just like a fucking degen. Like, yeah, I could see someone being really pissed off about that.
Theory number 17.
So
It's a
That-
spirit that's upset with a freaking pastor sinning and he's making up and
Just
atoning
cut-
for his sins.
come inside here, honey. I want to counsel you. You can sit right here on my cock. Like what?
Just-
Thaddeus
And we
Huffman.
just went dark.
Sorry,
Nope.
this is a shit show podcast, so you just have to be
Yeah.
prepared.
Yeah.
But Thaddeus, we work with him.
I
He
read
said,
the deal out
Sturge,
loud.
remember that pastor we talked about at work?
Oh God,
I can't talk
I'm
about
kind of
that.
scared.
So what was his name?
Well,
Right.
if you hold on. If you want to talk about it, I think you can't say his name. If you say his name, then we can't talk about it.
just made it up. We were just talking about you're just talking about
Got it.
If you whisper me a name, I automatically say things out loud.
What was it? What was it, Huffman? I can't remember. Comment. I don't fucking remember. But it was funny. But I can't talk about what we were saying. It would
Got
get
it.
us kicked off
Listen,
here.
you guys are distracting me from watching my kids' squids.
he's watching Big Kirk over here. That's
Jesus
by the way,
Christ.
guys. Everyone subscribe to Big Kirk.
Just flip videos.
Yes, 90 subscribers.
we only have 100.
Like we're the top dogs here.
we're so top dog, by the way.
But this is
Yeah.
like 9 years ago, like
That's
Lords
not
of
how you
Dog
spell
Town.
it. Thaddeus Magnethard. It wasn't Father Magnethard or something like that. That wasn't it. That's not fucking it. That's totally wrong. So, but yeah, I think anytime we go into these cases, I'm not expecting to hear about like a pastor banging out the women in the church. So I think you could give me a warning beforehand.
I
I'm
tried to tell you, but you were like, I don't want to hear about it. I just want to come into this cold read. And I was like, okay.
And Sturge, you're wrong. We have 143 subscribers.
You could have said, you might want to hear this one though.
Okay, I'm listening.
You could
Right.
that's what you could have said.
Oh,
You could have said, Sturge, you may want to hear this one and not go in it blind. The pastor's banging the clergy and the choir. And
I will
you
keep
know,
that in mind or just not pick one of those the next time. We've just been talking about doing this one for a while, so I will
well,
make
it's
sure.
a good
that
one.
Yeah,
It is a good one, other than the fact we don't have it solved here and we're never going to solve it.
It's impossible to solve.
I don't think it's impossible.
but
I think
it's
we
fun
investigate.
to
figure it out.
extrapolate wildly.
1920s?
Yeah.
Those people are all dead, bro.
I told Huffman to tell me what the name is on the comments. He's spelling it all different ways. And he says, I don't know how to spell it, but I can say it really well. He does say it well, I will add. He does say a great job. Great way. The best.
Probably McGunthard.
No, that's what it is.
No
It's Father,
shit.
yeah, Father McGunthard. Yes. Who is that? What like that's a perfect name for a
Look at
priest.
that. I just speak idiot.
That's Huftard is also
It's fine. I'm also fluid and idiot. It's in fact one of my primary languages.
Oh, the
Well,
problem is I'm
Michaela,
highly intelligent, so I can't.
Michaela,
pronounce it.
to give you context on these two interacting, I was down there one day and all I saw was them staring at each other, grunting, and I heard every word they said.
Yeah, that's not what.
And I was like, "You guys are gonna jump me," and then they did.
When we, the thing about our job is we take it very serious. Okay.
Yeah, I
Seriously.
take your job very seriously.
Yeah.
Grunt a
One
lot.
thing that Chris also said, it was clearly just circling back so we can
Sorry.
try and no, please don't apologize. Like
I
I'm not
just did.
participating in
I
the
just did. What are you gonna do about
Well, stop. Ask you to stop, please, because you
Yes.
always ask me to stop apologizing. So we
We
don't
may
have
not solve the case, but I solved the name of the father.
it? McGunther. What's it? How you say it again?
Gunther.
Like, we gotta get Huppin on the podcast so he can say it. The way he says it makes it feel so wrong.
Do you think he would?
just get like a voice note.
I'm
Just like
telling.
have him send you a voice note about it, and then we'll just play it over the thing.
One time I was eating like boneless chicken wings at work, and he said it, and it shot through my nose. It was just the way he said it, just sounded so wrong.
Just like,
Do you trust Father McGuthern? No, what? Well, kind of.
I mean,
oh god, no!
who trusts Father McGunther?
I
I barely know her.
think I did.
Chris
Oh,
said it was
that's fine.
clearly someone that was close to them. And I do agree, and that's kind of why I'm like stuck on the love letters things. Is they obviously had access to something that was convincing enough. Like we don't know how small they tore up all of the love letters. Like maybe it was just in quarters, maybe it was for them, but how would you have gotten access to something that personal?
Because
And
he
that-
did it.
Because but
The husband did it.
right, that's why I'm saying like maybe one or the other of the
Why
spouses,
does everyone
or
always blame the husband?
Because guys are naturally shitty.
I disagree. Did you hear my wife talk to me about dinner tonight?
Yeah,
I thought I was gonna fucking.
we
get
were
murdered.
arguing about it for no reason because I said I'll go get a bologna sandwich.
Both of my my best pal here and my wife want to Taco Bell. I don't eat Taco Bell, right? Because I'm on a diet, and they're both hangry. And then my wife's like, "I want Taco Bell. I don't give a shit what you get." Just I'm like, 97% of my wife and I's argument is about dinner.
But
It's fucking
still,
dinner.
the thing is, we argued for no reason because I was like, I don't give a shit. I'll go and get a bologna sandwich.
Yeah, at my house, you're gonna steal my bologna,
No,
my
I said
bread,
I would
my
walk to
cheese.
shortstop. That's 3
You know what?
seconds away.
I would rather catch my
Yeah,
wife
have
cheating than you eat my bologna.
That's fucked up.
No, I love my
I
bologna.
bought bologna for us and made it in the cabin before.
Yeah. I'm just kidding, honey. If you're listening, please don't.
Yeah, I wish you weren't.
Spicy nowadays.
Is Huffman going to join?
He won't do it. He doesn't have the balls.
We just want to hear him say McGunther.
No, it's the way Father. He doesn't say McGunther. He says
Father.
Father McGunther.
So he goes, Father McGunther?
Something like that, dude. It's so wrong. the
Oh,
way he said-
yeah?
No, stop.
Chupapi
Listen.
Manana.
All right. So anything else? So we haven't solved anything. We did make a new friend tonight in Big Kirk.
Yeah.
If you like, pretty sure I can skateboard better than him, but we'll try. I'll try it later.
Well, now he has 91 subscribers. Fine.
I also did try to do a backflip off the diving board today.
I want to hear this.
Oh, how did that go?
Oh, so fucking bad.
Did
I'll give
you
20
just do like
bucks.
a little backwards gainer?
No.
Not even close.
I did
no.
like a twisty in the air, like the wrong direction,
He did a 180
no.
belly smack.
and I
Oh
literally
no!
felt- I smashed my eye socket.
Tell
Oh,
me
no.
how.
Time the fuck out for a second. This is how he got me on the fucking diving board. He asked the lifeguards, like, they're like, well, we'll give you $10. And he's like, I'll give you 20. And I'm doing the fucking math here. And I'm like, I could probably do it for $30. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can't be that hard. He goes up there and shows me how to do it. He's like, here's how you do it. He does it, a legit backflip. I'm like, well, this unathletic, chunky fuck can do it. my fat ass can definitely do it. So I get up there and I like start walking on the diving board. I'm like, wow, the gravity's really pulling this board down a little.
Well, the funny thing is, he's seen me do backflip after backflip at this
Oh,
pool.
just keep. Oh, you're so famous. Your stupid ass backflips. I'm looking for the $30.
You let your ego get to you.
So I didn't let my ego get shit. I wanted $30. So I get to the end of the diving board. This motherfucker is like been all the way down already. It wasn't even bouncing. I walked and they go whoop, and I was like, shit, what's the weight limit? And then the guard's like, I think it says 200, and I'm like, oh fuck.
You've
So
come too far.
then I said, all right, I
He's
got
like, I'm going to
this.
do it.
So I pray. I said, what would Father McGunther say? And he's like, you can do that, boy. You can do it, boy. So
Just gotta believe.
I gave it a bounce. I heard a crack. And then I attempted to, just like Big Kirk trying to do like a wheelie on his skateboard, it's the same way of me trying to do a backflip. It didn't work. And when I go, I literally have my eyes open. I could see the water coming straight towards my fucking
Oh,
But
face.
no.
look, the number one thing I don't understand, but other than how to explain it, as in you panicked, you did a 180 and went forward, not backwards.
I attempted it. You said I'd get $30 if I
You
attempted
went
it.
the opposite
I
direction.
fucking tried. And then I literally cracked my eye socket. You passed down. I bruised the side of my fucking calf.
It was one of the
Oh,
best
no.
spell smackers I've seen in a while.
And then everyone's laughing, and I'm looking for my eyeball. I'm like, hopefully it floats because this motherfucker's gone.
Just gotta slurp it back in there.
My eye socket crushed. My eye falls out. Like it was honestly, I didn't get $30.
Oh, and for all of that, you still didn't get your $30.
No,
Was
it was
it a
supposed to be
contingent on
backflip. It went
success?
forward.
You said if I
Okay,
gave it my
but
best
here's
try,
the thing.
asshole.
Yeah, here's the thing. If he attempted it, then
I
he gets the
did.
$30.
Hand to God, Father McGunther, strike me dead. I gave it my best shot.
Yeah, that's some hoe shit that you didn't pay out, Doug.
But I
Like,
will tell you this: I'll be
right.
back at the pool tomorrow, and I'm fucking telling you, I YouTubed it, and I know the strategy now.
I believe in you.
Hey, look, if he would have did a back smacker, at least he went backwards. I count that as an attempt.
You don't even think I got a little backwards?
You landed on your stomach.
My eye
So
socket.
that means that he just, so he
Well,
just
here's
got.
the thing,
a
instead of-
little
This,
speedy
Michaela, look,
rainbow.
he started here. Say backflip this way, right?
Okay.
He went.
That's
Oh.
that's an
Okay.
attempt.
So it was a back half twist. He was just practicing his gymnastics instead of the full flippies. It was just a back half twist.
It was a fucking attempt, and that was worth $30.
That was worth $30, especially because his eye left his eye socket. The
To be
least
honest-
you could do is give him $30 to his optical surgery.
To be honest, it's very blurry to see out that eye. I'm not quite sure what happened. Okay. I heard the crack on the diving board. I all I did was like give it a little bit of a jump, you know what I'm saying?
Little oomph.
And it's like, and I was like, oh fuck.
Ugh, yeah. You're like, I'm bailing.
And I was
No,
like,
had-
"Father, got this, save me." He's like, you got this, boy.
So if I do it off a lifeguard stand, will you try it off diving board?
I already told you I tried again. I'm like I said, I got the
already tried
the
it out
steps
there.
101 on YouTube on how fat it's like how obese people do backflips. So I'm pretty much in.
I agree with no, Gordon. I don't agree with that. If he would have went backwards,
Dumbass. How many times you podcasting?
if he would have went backwards, Gordon, I would have counted as almost.
What do you mean? I literally tried to, and my body fell too quick. My body, I couldn't
Gravity
fucking
is
You
really-
flip.
went forward.
I went twisty, not for. I didn't go forward. I went.
Because like still was backwards and then just twisted around and then
You
hit
got
the
Dylan over
floor.
here thinking he's some fucking natural born athlete jumping off this thing. It looks like the worst backflip I've ever seen.
But it was a backflip.
Wasn't good. It's fucking horrible. It's fucking terrible. Honestly, I was like, that's not like I was super embarrassed. Like you're.
How'd your belly smacker go?
It wasn't really a belly. My stomach never hurt. It was my eye socket and my leg. I think that makes sense.
just like a death dive, like
No, Mike, if your body's straight, I went into the body like this,
Yeah.
like
just a little.
yeah, like I don't know what happened. Tried to touch my toes.
He created a new move.
When I came out, I was like, "Honey, I tried." Right? She's like, "You gave it your best shot," and I was like, "What?" But I tried. Like I was there, right? She's like, "You tried really hard, honey." I was like, "But was it close?" You tried.
You tried. You, I could tell, gave it 110%,
And I didn't get $30.
which is honestly a crime. That should be the next sip and solve. Is why Dylan didn't pay the fuck up the $30 from Sturge attempting that backflip.
Because if it got put on video and you could see it, you would understand.
All right, so picture
gave
didn't
it
happen.
my
That
shot.
sounds like you're just making excuses, and you owe Sturge $30.
This motherfucker's
No.
broke. Motherfucker's
Sounds
broke.
like it. Sounds
I
like
told
it.
him if it was a legit attempt and not bullshit, I'd pay
It
it.
was a legit attempt, just because the level of success isn't
Father, make
up to the standard.
When you
that
go
you just made
forward,
it
it's not a real attempt.
How did we go from a 1922
so
Fucking
what counts?
brutal,
How did we get on the freaking
brutal
pool?
murder? Me getting taken advantage of at the pool.
Because it's just as brutal, and Dylan murdered your desire to ever attempt a backflip again
Well,
because
he
he
didn't
did
murder
not put
shit,
his
'cause
money
I
where
did.
the mouth is.
He said he's going to try it tomorrow.
Hold
Well,
on.
you better have $60 up then, chump, because that's
Oh,
2 attempts,
She
$30.
said that. She meant to say chunk.
I can do a backflip.
He chunk. His back tits were like flying in the air when he was like he did the backflip, but his back tits were like where his knees were. It was weird.
It's what carries my body around.
Yeah,
It's his
I just,
hang
It's real
gliding.
numb.
dude, I actually was kind of scared. Like when I was on the diving board, I had to go. I was like, oh fuck.
I honestly
Oh,
think that's
no.
what scared you.
Yeah, when she's like, it says 200, and I'm like, oh fuck.
We're too far gone for that to be okay.
There's no stopping me now.
Ain't no stopping me now.
And Huffman, what do you mean he got punked at work today?
I didn't get punked. We're not talking about work.
We'll save that for the after broadcast.
We can do that, but we're not doing that on there. Dumbass.
Huffman, you can talk shit when you start mixing your whiskey with good coke.
And you know what's really cool, Big Kirk? You came on here and said our show shit, but you're still tuning in. So that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. We subscribe to your channel. Kind of bored do you ride, bro? Kind of bored do you
The
ride,
real question
brother?
is, do you still ride?
Yeah, are you still a rider?
Because that was 9 years ago. I would.
Is that what do skateboarders call it? Was it riders? Skaters.
I think
Skaters.
boarders?
He's
Skaters?
a shredder.
He's a shredster.
Shreds.
Hey, I'll tell you this. You try a heel flip. I watched it. You definitely did try.
Had some sweet ollies, bro. Down like 3 stairs.
Dylan can't even.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't even stand on one, but I'm like, yeah, what a fucking loser.
I think I could do an ollie. Ryan has a skateboard.
Let's go try it.
It's got the trucks, dude.
Let's
got
try
me-
it.
I tried to do that when I was in Ohio. Be like all of us trying to do ollies or kickflips
Why didn't we do that?
because we'd all end up in the hospital.
He just instead just sat down here and Michaela and I just screamed at each other while
Yeah,
everyone watched
Sitting
us.
directly next to each other, just talking like we're on opposite sides of the country.
I
Dylan
think
and Christina just trying to be quiet.
Everyone was like, "Why are they screaming at each other?" Levi literally texted me like, "Why are you guys screaming at each other?" I'm like, "We're not."
We're not. We're just
No,
talking.
no. I was like, "We're not."
Yeah, exactly. All caps. We're not. We're just talking really loudly right next to each other.
But whatever, it was fun.
It was really fun. I had so much fun.
And then Sunday we went to Father McGuffin church.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yep.
Right?
Thankfully, you didn't get murdered by a pig woman on a mule.
Oh, that'd have been so
Because it
hot.
wasn't her. but
That would have
whatever.
been literally like a porno. That'd be so hot. Imagine that, like some chick just riding up on a mule, like I'm gonna
With a
brutally
shotgun,
slaughter
just like,
you. What would you say?
I think if a mule was running at me, I'd step to the left or right.
It's going 20 miles an hour, motherfucker. You can't even go 3.
You're not that fast. It's like jousting.
Yeah.
It's a pig farmer on a mule and you trying to get your dick wet by the pastor's wife you're fucking.
That's
That just got dark.
yeah, brutal.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if I'm not gonna say it. I just wondered, does it? Yeah, I'm not gonna say it. You just wonder, like, well, I probably shouldn't. If Thaddeus was on this podcast, he'd ask the question.
Just do it.
I'm not going to.
Just text it to me and I'll say it out loud. Clearly, I have no compulsion to shut my fucking
Like,
mouth.
if you're going to, like, I think cheating happens a lot for the thrill, right?
Yeah.
What's more thrilling than like banging the pastor?
Right. Especially if
Got
they're
it.
both married and it's on someone else's property,
What's
too.
more thrilling? Riding a mule with a 32 special, shooting people under a fucking tree. Wrong?
No, no, that's not wrong at all.
I'm on to something.
But imagine this: like you're a pastor and you're nailing one of the married women, and you're like
choir.
Yeah, like on the choir piano, and then like you're stealing some of the wine for communion. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty crazy, honestly. Are you talking?
Are you? All I hear is.
Come on over here. Come on, child. Come here, child of God. So,
Oh
What
no!
if Father was just like pimping the choir members and they got pissed off at that one because he was showing like extra?
Where have you been tonight?
Yeah, why don't you have a fucking headset and mic on, my dog?
Am I
Because
wrong?
because he doesn't know.
Big Sturge said this like 10 times.
Because you're on your phone playing crabs or whatever it is.
Well, at the very least, you could send me a gift on Pokemon Go because you've been sitting on that shit since I was in Ohio.
Or $2 for sisters. I just want to tell the Lord that I do believe in him and in Jesus, but church sex stuff is funny.
And I think it is also fair to hold his church members accountable for
Amen.
their
Well, they're all
waywardness.
dead now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're so dead.
I don't think we can hold them accountable.
Well,
Maybe-
but we can hold their actions in contempt.
I'm emailing Johnson & Johnson.
I don't know. If
I
you
know what you guys
in
covered up last summer.
1922 last summer.
I know what you
did-
covered up in 1923.
What? 22. It happened in 22,
Duh.
not 23.
They
Pay
were
attention.
covering it up in 23 because the trial wasn't until 26.
Mm,
No?
All right. Oh, okay. All right.
He's cooking just like his back foot. That was so amazing. I was impressed.
You keep talking about it though.
Why do you keep getting farther away? You're halfway on the screen.
He's just trying to distance himself. He's like,
Oh,
I'm
No, he's
not
trying to
this
drink
podcast.
whatever's over there next to his Mountain Dew.
Yeah. It's his water.
Yeah. It's his holy water, man. It's all good. So,
Holy water.
what was the so Sunday we're having maybe a cool podcast here. We got a local songwriter guy,
Fun.
you know, making his way up the chain of music in Nashville. Hangs out with like Jelly Roll and stuff. He's cool. He's supposed to be coming over for an interview.
That's fun. I love that.
We're thinking about changing Tuesdays to Sunday nights.
Yeah.
It worked
Yeah.
better.
Like,
Not going to work hungover.
yeah, I feel that. That's why I love that this is on Fridays.
Well, I thought the same thing until I realized I'm hungover every day, and I was like, oh.
But then
Yeah, you're like, yeah, what's another day?
it's kind of been refreshing being on this sober journey.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
'Cause-
I mean, now you get to go to work not hungover ever.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
Well, I would have really hated it today if I was, because work was a shit show to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
We were not going to bring that up.
Nope.
Are we not allowed to?
No.
I think in terms of like
He's
the
got some good
pocket, I
stories.
think it's at least I want to hear the
Huff-Tard.
stories.
Huff-Tard said some good stories, dude.
The name Huff-Tard.
It's a good name, though. I'm proud of it. I don't care. Huff-Turd. Oh, no, that's a good name, in my opinion. Is there anything else we want to chit-chat about? Anybody on here still?
Yeah, we have 7
Yeah,
viewers.
Gordon is.
Man.
Speaking of the anointments, but
What's this say?
Pastor was annoying.
oh yeah. So
Holy
there was
What's he referring to? What's he referring to? Father MacGuthер would never.
Holy wand.
Father MacGuthер would never. He told me we were in a safe place.
I think the only other thing that I had was in 20.
We're booted.
Oh no.
Zuckerberg.
I am.
the only-
I am enjoying the Trump and
Oh my god.
Elon Musk drama. That shit's funny.
Look,
I'm a
It's
Trump fan.
wild that
I
they
know you
broke
guys-
up during Pride Month. Like nobody likes to see a gay marriage dissolve like that. And so
I know.
Hold on.
And I am just to let you know, Michaela. I did take my Trump sign down when you came over, just so I didn't. I didn't want to. Whatever. I didn't know.
that's fine. I
And-
would have just shit in your lawn anyway.
I know, but what was funny was when what did he say about the Epstein files? What did he say?
he said it's funny, or the real reason why the Epstein files haven't been dropped is because Donald Trump sent them.
Got him. That
Yeah,
shit
like
was
we
good.
didn't know that already.
So the funniest thing ever, it's going to be in the next few days. Elon's going to put a big freaking massive bulletin out saying that X was hacked, and it was two
Probably.
people going back and forth with each other that they couldn't control.
You know what's crazy?
I don't
It's
think so. I think they're both. He's so up his own ass that I don't think he would ever let anyone else take credit for the things that he said. He is so blinders and so above trying to
watch your mouth.
be a PR like.
Watch your mouth.
I'm talking about Elon. Clam down.
Watch your mouth.
Oh my god, sorry. I didn't realize that you were sucking the vacuum of Space Daddy there.
Whoa. Damn.
I
I
don't think that he
I
would
mean,
ever
I'll start here.
disavow the stuff
can
that
make
he's
fun of
gonna say. I don't think he would ever disavow the stuff that he has said. I think that he just it was funny. I know. And then I said something funny in return to it. We're not fighting. We're just yelling at each other, but just not in the same room.
Hey, classic. It's super classic of us.
Classic Michaela Sturge.
Yeah, it's just what we do. This is what we do.
It is what we do.
It's what we do. I don't
It
know.
was all ploy. Literally, X is back at number one for top news in America.
That's sad, right?
That it's all ploy. Let's be real.
I did
I'm
want to
like,
tell
what are they
everybody,
trying to distract us from what's actually happening?
the good news is I do plan on going sober in 2028.
Because, I plan
Are
to
you
die
telling
by
me?
2028, so I'll be sober.
I'm telling you, I'm
Actually,
planning on going sober in 2028. I'm
He has a
committing to it.
plan.
I'm committing to it.
It's a 3-year plan.
It's
We have a business plan. It is
Yes.
executable. Like,
I'm telling you, it's going to be American and soberness is what it's going to be called. What did I tell you? We're thinking about, but anybody
know.
listening, we're thinking about rebranding.
But
haven't
just a
decided
heads
yet.
up, there are some other projects coming up as well in the next 2.5
It's true.
years.
I am actually
Depending
excited
on
about
maintenance
those.
and everything, and how quickly they work and getting supplies and everything. The soberness might be put on hold for 4 or 5 years. We
'Cause
just
one
don't
of the
know when the
things
other
that
projects.
like when you guys brought this idea up to me, given that like alcohol sales are down 20%, like people are focusing more on NA stuff, and especially in Portland, there is a lot of like exciting innovations being made here in both distilling and brewing aspects.
So,
like I know I'm not giving away too many details. I know I'm not blowing the load.
Hold on, Michaela. I'm giving you full range right now. Break it open.
Okay. So
You can read the whole thing if you want.
okay, perfect. I'm super excited. So I have a lot of friends who still like being involved in the industry. They still enjoy like the craft aspect of stuff. And one of my good friends is like actually started an NA spirits brand a few years ago. It's one of the top ones available. But so I'm excited to work with you guys on this. But Ohio's first NA beer festival, Hop Without a Buzz. So fucking cute. I'm sad that I was not involved in the marketing, but you nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it.
Okay.
Yeah, you nailed it. Hop Without a Buzz. So good. Sample over 50 craft NA beers from top Ohio breweries and beyond. We are beyond. Live music all day, food trucks, NA cocktail mixers, family-friendly games, local vendors and wellness activities, sober spaces, and community circles. Like, you just get to be involved with people who enjoy the craft aspect of crafting beverages, but they don't need to involve alcohol.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll
Oh,
post some stuff like, because it's still kind of in the
works.
planning work. It's in the planning works.
I will say
so
the
we don't
website
want
is
to.
not live yet.
Yeah, exactly. So like we're still
In the
putting
works, though.
stuff together. It's in the works. It's in the works.
And I'll
But-
tell you, I am so pumped about it. My favorite part is we're gonna get dunk tank full of sweet tea or
Oh my
something
God.
like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Also,
we're gonna have like local vendors.
one thing that we got reached out actually to us about after we started putting it out there a little bit, just as a little tester. We actually are putting on a karaoke contest.
Yes. Sober karaoke, way more fun than drunk
Yes. And
karaoke.
Dylan and I have ours. We're gonna do a song together.
I'm
we're
gonna
not
do
ready
a
to
song
tell.
too.
We're not gonna tell you what it is. Sorry.
No. Oh, I can tell you what my song is, but I won't.
No, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if Thaddeus is still listening, he can come to this too, because he does a beautiful job at some karaoke in the morning. Let me fucking tell you something. Father McGunther, proud as fuck of this kid. Proud as fuck. All right? He is down in that, where we work, can't say where.
Mm-hmm.
Great job. I'm telling you.
We're working
he's
out
started-
details.
This festival is going to be amazing. Unfortunately, I'm not starting my sober life until 2028, and obviously,
But you can do it for a weekend.
I will not.
Well,
I'll
it's
come drunk.
Saturday.
I'll end up showing up drunk, but I won't drink there. That's fair.
Yeah, I
Totally
could have
fair.
a dry weekend. It's happened.
Mhm.
Sometimes.
Michaela, what's
I
the
have
date
done
on that?
it.
This Friday, what?
Mhm.
What's the date on that?
Oh,
We're still- I thought we were-
well, we're still in discussions.
we don't
about
want to throw a date out
Yeah.
there. 'Cause we
I
got a
locked
couple-
in the date already with the park.
Okay,
No, we're not bringing that up yet.
all right.
We're not bringing that up yet because we
Because
have
we still have to get details from like vendors and stuff. Like we have an idea of when we would like to do it, but
We're just
thankfully
trying to-
filing for permits is free. So like we have the framework, but we need to make sure that other people can show up. So it's not just us with a water cooler and be like, yeah, how about
we've
this
already
NA
We
vodka?
talked about our first, we actually reached out to was it Still Talking?
Yeah, actually, we did get some good reactions from them, and they said they would like to be a sponsor.
Oh, that's awesome.
We'll
Wow.
shout them out.
Shout
That's
Still
dope.
Talking out. One
Yep.
of we're super pumped about this. We just want people to know drinking is a great
Like,
time.
Because a sip and solve, like you can sip anything. If it's a liquid, you can
Oh.
sip it.
I prefer the alcohol, but I don't,
Yeah.
sure.
To each
I mean,
their own.
Dylan's been drinking Baja Blast tonight. Now,
Yeah.
I was also drinking Baja Blast, but I call it more of a spiked Baja Blast.
Yeah, it was a spicy
And
bush.
I think Thaddeus would be very proud that it was Eagle Rare.
Yeah,
Not
that's
just
fair.
it was Eagle Rare and calorie free Baja Blast. And to be honest with you, that's a great, concoction that I
It
created.
is.
Proud of you.
Well, it's just like a little. Have you ever gone to like a whiskey bar and you're like, "What's the list?" And you see that Pappy, and you're like, "Give me a diet and Pappy."
Yeah.
Wait, mixed together?
Yes.
Oh, a diet and Pappy. Give me a diet. Now,
There's not a
sometimes
single whiskey that's not good with a diet.
listen, and especially Pappy. Give me the Pappies. Give me.
I haven't tried them, so I acquiesce to your knowledge of them.
First,
I mean,
Like
you-
I believe you that you said they were good. Like I just haven't tried it. So
I've never had a $47 Diet Coke taste this heavenly. First off, very heavenly. Most heavenly drink I've ever had, and I've had plenty of them, so I do know the best. And this was the best.
dude, the best deal I ever got was a
first time.
Blanton's and diet.
Yeah, it was good.
It was a $6 pour, and I was proud of that.
And you know what? The fact that you're not.
out for $6. You should be proud of that. That's
See what we're saying?
yeah. No, I'm
We
smelling
find
what
you
you're stepping
deals.
in. I'm smelling what you're stepping in. I get it. I get it.
But it's not about the liquor.
It's about
That's
the
why
diet.
we're starting this. And Still Talking is going to, sponsor some of this, and we're not sure what the price range of this. We'll get with you
Yeah,
guys.
we'll figure it out.
A couple hundred.
I mean, I think anything they sponsor us with
Just love and
would be love and
compassion.
I think the Lord would appreciate it. What was that, Michaela?
Me taking a poof. Sorry, didn't mean to make a sound.
You guys not being sober.
I know.
Okay.
Honestly, that is okay. So the problem is, I broke my toe 2 weeks ago, and then Mama's just ran across my foot. She ran across my foot, and I was trying to keep it together. But thank you for calling me out on that. Like I was like,
10 times worse.
yeah.
Get a Ric Flair across the fucking room.
Fuck, that was my. And you know what sucked? That was my
Mama's
rare
ran across-
diet.
Mama's ran across his foot too. She's an interstate fucking toe cruncher.
I also believe Sean Rigsby's leading up the prayer table.
Sean Rigsby actually volunteered. Let me tag him real quick. To reach out to some local churches in the area to get tables, chairs, and tents.
That's awesome.
That's going to be huge for us because they like donations.
Charges an ass load for
And if we can get
a
that,
lot.
it would not.
I should probably practice my church speak. Party City charges.
Oh no! We're gonna be who we are. That's the thing. We can be who we are, guys. I'm coming lit. I'm just not gonna drink while I'm there.
Yeah, fair.
I'm not gonna change myself for nobody because
Right.
I'm not starting my sober living till
Hey,
2028.
Levi.
Yeah, we got.
It's a 3-year plan that I have in works right now.
It's like titrating off of mental illness drugs. You just gotta like start the process little by little, and you're like, it's gonna take me 3 years to detox.
Watch, I'm gonna show you the plan. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm
1,
ready.
2, 3. Sober.
So, Sean, we just hit the moment where we gave Michaela the go ahead to give details about the festival that's coming up. We were talking about talking about how they want to be a sponsor and how you stepped up and said you wanted to help and helping find like chairs, tables, and tents. So
Incredible.
kudos to you, Sean, for stepping up and wanting to do a big thing.
That's awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, fuck, I got something in my throat. Listen, I think
I mean, I think we detracted far enough from. I know when I'm on the podcast, we tend to go 2 hours. We're at
We
hour
said
and
an hour
24?
tonight, and we're
That's
at
pretty
almost
good.
hour and a
That's
half.
pretty good.
But we
I
have
think we
had a
covered
long
everything.
discussion.
Yeah, I think we covered everything on the murder. I know this one, like in the 20s, it's hard to try and like put together the evidence. So for the one next week, like I'm gonna try and get one closer to the general existence of us, so we can pick apart some of the forensic evidence,
Can I
have
get
some more
emotional?
theories. Like, yeah,
Go
you
for
got.
it.
Can I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
emotional for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
The way that you pulled yourself together tonight, Justice, and you're fighting your demons, drinking Baja Blast, staying away from the booze, the beers, of course. I think what you're doing here is pretty solid, brother.
Baja Blast it up.
Cheers to that, brother. Good man. What do we got here? Okay.
We have a lot of comments coming.
We've got a
in
lot of
on
comments
YouTube.
coming about this festival. I mean, it's going to be an out of the
And
park.
also me roundhouse kicking my cat. Thankfully, no, I did not kick the cat because it was a drive-by toe smashing, and she's 14 years old, so she knows how to get me and then just like disappear into
Shoot out of
the
an
ether.
animal.
I
We
mean-
also will have
Well,
conversation.
and I also can't kick her because my toe is fucking broken. So
Sean-
I'm also not going to lead with that.
Thanks for the respect, dude. You saw the darts with water last night.
Hey, great job, by the way. I was there.
That's
Getting
2-0
hammered.
in the league.
I was there supporting
Hell
him.
yeah.
I was hammered.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Just like I'm super proud of you because I'm only good at darts when I'm like the proper amount of drunk.
I
So
thought
the fact
that
that you were
too.
able to like just
I
hone
was
it
at the pool
in
game I did.
and be able to like.
You ready for this
So
one?
Sturge.
I was just there
Listen,
watching.
he's sitting there watching darts and everything. And a guy walks back there. And he's like, is anyone playing pool? And Sturge's like, no, but if you want to lose, I'll play you.
Yeah.
And he's like, we put money on it. Sturge's like, I'm down to play. This guy goes and gets
No, he
cash
disappears.
out.
He disappears for like 20 minutes.
But he goes and gets cash out, gets change. He comes back. He's like, so we doing this? He's like, dude, I was just fucking with you. I suck at pool. And the dude's like, really? Like, he's pissed. He's like,
Yeah.
I'll play you. Like, Sturge's still like, you know what? This dude just fucking got me.
He did.
So he puts money in there. Next thing I know, I turn around and Sturge's on the 8-ball. And he's seriously confused. He's like, I don't know what to do here. And I forget who it was, but someone, or it was Trey. He was like, shoot it here and go for this corner pocket. And I was immediately like, no, bro, that's a scratch shot. You're not doing that.
I know I could do it.
Yeah.
And Sturge's like, he looks at the guy he's playing. He's like, look, I really don't know. I need some advice. And the guy told him what he would do. And Sturge nails the shot and beats him.
You know
Oh,
what's even better? I was
like,
down three balls.
Yeah.
But what's really funny is I'm actually a decent pool player.
yeah, I was like, every day I'm hustling.
Every day I'm hustling. Every day.
I was like, oh, you think
table.
I haven't said that line at a pool, like at
Yeah.
a bar? I'm like, oh yeah, I really want to play, but I'm like not
But the
that
dude
good.
was so
And then I
fucking
run
pissed.
half the table, and then they're like,
Yeah.
double or nothing. I'm like, sure, I will take your $80.
But here's the thing: he was so pissed, and I was like, "Hey, bro, it's all good." He's like, "You play pool?" I was like, "I haven't played pool in like 2 or 3 years. Let me buy you a beer, bud. Like it's all
Yeah.
it's all
With
great.
your
beer.
money, let me let
Yeah.
you buy
Yeah.
you a
Hey,
beer.
can I get that cash? Whatever you want, man. I'll get it."
It was funny. It was really funny.
But I beat him, so I was
That's
like, "Good
so good. Mm.
I do what I do." Mhm.
Tip your server.
No, I don't. I'm kidding. We take care
We
of
tip
I
our.
know. I meant the server isn't the one who gave you the money at the pool table. You're like, yeah, I'll buy you a beer
know.
since I just like fleeced you.
But I didn't take money
Yeah, they
from him.
didn't bet.
I didn't take money from him.
Oh, you guys didn't end up. Oh,
No.
oh, okay.
I just
Oh,
I
you
just
just
let
bought-
him.
Oh my god, you just bought him. That's all right. That's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice.
because he was
I
upset.
thought it was that you took him for his money, and then you're
No,
like,
he
"Let me
wanted
buy
to
you
pay
a
for
beer
money,
because it's fun."
And I
Got it.
said, I haven't played pool in a while. I'm not very good at it, which is not a total lie. It's kind of a lie. I used to play a lot of pool
We
back in
probably
the day.
play like 2 or 3 times a year.
But you're in a dart league. I used to be in a pool league.
Yeah.
But that's been before I was even married. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to play a lot.
my wife's so lucky to have me. Just me chasing my dreams. What a man.
That's true.
Yeah. My wife, literally, my neighbor's over yesterday, and here's Steph bringing out this big ass little giant ladder. He's like, does she need you to carry that? And I was like, oh, here, watch this. I'll ask her, hey, honey, you need me to move that ladder? And she's like, fuck you, I got it. I was like, whoa. I was like, she don't need me.
Yep.
I think when you were at my house, Michaela, she was mowing grass.
Yeah. When
Wrong.
Dude, I was in
with a kid on her back.
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
it was really what?
We learned quick. Like, we'll be sitting down here drinking, and she'll disappear. And then next thing you know, there's a full ass garden in the back.
Yep. What were you gonna say? It seemed like it was gonna be really cool.
Oh, it was gonna be really cool. It meant a lot to me that you all hosted me and also rescued me from the airport. And it meant a lot that I was able to meet your family. Your kids are dope AF. Like, I love talking trading cards with them. Like, next time I come out, because I'm definitely gonna come out again soon. Like, it just you already welcomed me into your like podcast family. Yeah, I'll get a credit card that has a high enough limit to get a fucking rental car this time. Now that I know debit cards are a $500 goddamn deposit.
That's crazy.
It's so crazy. My friend who just moved to Wisconsin, the same thing happened to her. Because of what happened to me, she looked it up and she's like, oh, yeah, cool. Also, $500 deposit for a rental car on a fucking debit card.
I remember back in the day when you used to go to the, what was the really popular rent-a-car? Was it rent-a-car?
Yeah, rent-a-car.
You go in that motherfucker, like, depending on who was working, you're like, man, can you do cash? You're like,
just like, yeah.
I guess. How long are you going to have the card? A couple hours.
They pocketed that shit. And
Yeah.
said, don't worry.
Dude.
We'll find your paperwork. Don't worry.
Such a shit show.
So
yeah, I will be more prepared next time, or I will just book the Levi Uber well in advance.
That'd work. I
got a lunch at Applebee's the next day. Like, I paid for lunch. I'm a fucking gentleman.
What'd you guys get?
We actually both got the Bourbon Street chicken and shrimp, we got a little appy.
I like my chicken fried.
No, Bourbon Street
Applebee's
chicken
on a Friday
No,
night.
what was the one where like the one guy is talking about like the milkshake and Applebee's? It's like the
mudslide cocktail, where it's like the milkshake, but it's got booze in it, or what?
I'm gonna tell you.
Applebee's on a.
I got the margarita you get the shaker tin, so I just kept filling that, and then also I had many hairs of dogs that I had so many hairs of dogs that needed to be consumed for me to feel like a human being the next day. I got so fucking drunk that day.
Well, you talking about when we were at my house?
Yeah, well, yeah, at your house, and then the next day I was like, I need to consume this.
My daughter said, "Dad, why are you walking sideways?" I'm like, I don't know.
I know, yeah, good.
And then I'm outside for 6 hours pulling weeds in my vegetable garden, profusively sweating.
Yeah, because I went to my mom's, drank a 12-pack, got drunk, and slept there.
Yeah, I was literally profusely sweating, and Steph's like, it literally smells like Coors Light.
Yeah,
I just remember
I had to go to your house because I forgot some stuff the next day, and I was barely hanging on, and then we had to go to Wilmington, and I was just like, ugh. And you're like, I give you a hug, but no, and I was like, also no.
Yeah,
yeah. I was like, you're
trip, by the way. How was the Wilmington trip? Remember?
Oh, it was so fun.
Good guy.
Yeah, great guy. One of my dear friends. Got to play a lot of Mario Party. My sister ratted me out as being a person who I'm not cheating, but I do always win the first game, and it's always in the last 3 turns and also the bonus stars. So she was warning him like what was going to happen, and he was like, "Nah, it's fine," and then just like shoop, swooped it.
So you won it?
Yeah, I did. Of course.
Was there money on the table?
No,
That sucks.
the money was the beer that he bought. So.
That's fair.
But then the next day, we played again, and he fully just like it was embarrassing. I lost by so much.
So he
How
held
did you
back.
get to the airport?
I took a Lyft.
Oh God, how much was that?
It was like $100-ish, which is still cheaper than the fucking rental car.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I was like, well, I had $300 budgeted for travel, so like lunch for Levi and then also the Lyft. I was like, bitch, we're coming in under budget.
That's one that is one
I
way
was
to
like,
come at it.
yeah, yep. I was like, I'll figure it out.
But it was cool. I'm like, it was pretty cool to have. We had never met in person to have, you come in from Oregon. It was really fun.
I had so
So,
much fun.
We're coming your
Yeah.
way. We'll be coming that way. But I do want to tell everybody we have a case that we are actively
researching.
and looking into that's super active right now. It's not
It just happened in like May or something.
Friday. No,
No,
they
like-
found the bodies on
Oh.
Friday.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why we
That's-
said no.
I
Yeah,
was like, it's like
there's
too
so-
soon.
Yeah, there's so much to it right now. So was Friday May? It might have been May that they found. I think I've been the last day.
It might have been late May.
Yeah. It was last Friday the bodies were found. So whatever that day is.
Yeah.
So this
I
is
think we
super
gotta let-
recent.
Yeah, we gotta let stuff develop. Because also the other thing I was
Yes.
realizing is like, I don't even think it's like a mystery. I think it's just like a discussion of mental health services and where the system is failing people. And I think that that's just going to be a discussion that might not be great to platform on a
Yeah.
podcast where we drink all the time.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be something might be a multiple short period podcast where we do updates.
Yeah. Yeah. I think having
it's gonna be-
updates
It's
and
gonna be a
things.
serious
that-
one. We like to have fun and everything, and like we were talking about Pastors Bone in their choir.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it was a serious crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 people still ended up dead.
Yeah. So we just have sick humor. So
Gordon, to answer that question,
we went, nothing happened.
yeah, we were going to go live if nothing.
We
was
did
going
take
on.
off on leave. So we went to the cemetery. We were there for an hour or two, Levi, probably.
Yeah.
There was graves from the 1800s. We were super respectful. But nothing happened. Nothing. There was at one point we thought something was going on, but we debunked it. It was like a flagpole making noise. But there for a few minutes, we thought maybe something was happening, but nothing happened. But the funniest part of the night was my mother-in-law finally, she took us because we had been drinking. And yeah. So she pulls in and we all hide. Well, she wasn't fooled by it. So Dylan and I come running out of our hiding places without Levi. We're like, Levi, stay. Watch this. We go up and we're like, Levi's gone. We can't find him. She's like, get in
And
the
she
fucking
takes
car.
off.
No, and I was like, pull out of the cemetery. Dylan's like, no. This motherfucker doesn't believe it's hot. And then out of nowhere, she goes to like start pulling out. And then I look behind it. I get out of the car and I look, and Levi's just running, hauling ass down the black top. Like, what the fuck?
You will not leave me.
She was going to leave.
She was going to leave him.
Oh
We were
my
going to come
god.
back, of course. What would you have done?
Hoofed it.
And that's when the ghost shit would have happened. And no
yeah,
one would
yeah.
have
It's just
verified it.
Levi
Levi-
alone with his little GoPro. He's like,
But we have plans on, Dylan and I have actively been working on, like, because we don't know if we believe in ghosts or not. So we are actively working on, and if you can find somewhere in Oregon, that could be cool.
dog. Yes.
Like a super haunted place for us to come and like, I will bring equipment, we'll make it legit. but we're trying to be.
Meet my best friend because he's super into this shit, and we have planned multiple different spots and trips. So yes,
Well,
you
let's
give me
do it.
dates, and we'll fucking do it.
We'll do
Okay,
it.
because I wouldn't say we're skeptic.
Yeah,
We're super
You're like-
open to it.
you're agnostic, not atheistic when it comes to terms of ghosts.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yes.
what those big words mean.
Yeah, you do.
Well, like you have no reason to really believe in ghosts, but like
you
I
have
grew up
no.
Christian, I still believe in God, but like I started like diving last weekend to like, is it against the Bible? But then you read things, and there's like, if you look at the Catholics, they believe in purgatory. What the fuck do you think that is?
The
And
Holy Spirit.
then you
Yeah,
look
it's
at stories in
literally
the
the
Bible,
Holy Spirit.
and they see spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like,
Oh.
maybe the human men who wrote the Bible did not have a full grasp of exactly everything that could
They were
ever
trying
happen
to figure
in the
things
world.
out. They were trying to figure out things, and they're right. Like some of the shit that they saw sounded kind of ghostly,
Yeah.
but
Like,
they didn't
what are
understand.
miracles if not for supernatural things that are beyond the realm of our understanding?
No, I
What's to
wouldn't
say
say
that
we're-
only the ones that were documented are the only
Yeah.
things that could ever happen?
So I wouldn't say that we're skeptic. Even I think that we kind of Gordon. We did see the Civil War POW camp in Columbus, but can we get in there to do research? That's the thing. So there's a lot of places that are haunted around here, but would they let American Whiskey go in there, set up, and
do stuff?
do research? Can we actually set up on our own in there and do some research? That is the problem that we're running into right now.
Mhm.
But we're super open to it. Like I said, but it's just we have not.
It's hard to get the logistics of, like, I have an interest in investigating this place, but it's also hard to get people to just give you carte blanche to, like,
Exactly.
set your shit up and be there after hours.
We're not ghost hunters from Discovery Channel that's well known. We are American Whiskey. We have a very loyal following, but not a big following, right? So we're not famous or whatever, but so we don't have that title to just go into places that are supposedly haunted. So, this Civil War POW camp in Columbus, if somebody knows how to contact somebody to where we could go there, we'll be respectful. And we'll set up and we'll do some research and we'll share. There's like, we don't charge for that stuff. We're just going to see what we pull out of it. We'll be open with it.
Right.
We'll share what we have recorded and all of that stuff.
Make sure
So-
they're cool with it before we post.
Yeah,
it.
of course.
And I think also, like, one of the important things is including the people who work there and, like, letting them tell the stories, and it's not us parroting back, like, giving them an opportunity to have outreach and share the story of the place that we would be going. I say we, like I'm gonna go there, but like I would. But like it needs to be something in cooperation with the location. Otherwise, you're just like some punk ass kids breaking into shit. Like we
Yeah.
want to have something professional happen where
That's right.
they can talk about the historical significance of it, and it's not just us trying to Google stuff and like tell the story. Like they tell the story better than we ever could.
Oh, of course.
So
They
we
need
want to
history.
like give them the chance to tell that story, and then us be able to just observe both the history of it and the actuality of it.
Yeah, like
Right.
what's happening in the moment.
Yeah.
Is there doors, whatever it is? Can we capture that moment to show people, like, hey, look, we weren't skeptic, but we had never really accepted it 100%. We were
Right.
so open to letting it. And here's our evidence of this certain place. They let us and gave us the privilege to come in there and check it out. One of the places that I think we may, that's really America and spooky. So we're thinking about rebranding American Whiskey. And I want to make American Whiskey more of like the studio bringing different outlets. So we have Sip and Sol Friday, just for example, American Spooky. That could be something else. Like we want to start branching out and kind of rebranding ourselves because we've met so many people in different avenues
Right.
of the world, right? The moonshine community has been a big part of that, but it's our relationships so now are just growing to so many different ways.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. Sunday we have the interview with Ryan Higgins.
Yes.
Like I said, this guy, he knows Jelly Roll. He's a local guy, actually. The American music and just these different avenues that we're taking, and we're really excited about trying to figure out where we're going. We're having a meeting about this with Michaela, and we'll get John Bentz on this, and probably Burned Out Winery, and talk about where we're headed. We got big plans. We have really, really big plans. None that we can talk about because we don't even know.
Yeah,
it's still gotta hash it out.
Process. But what I can say is, this is 2025 so far has been the most successful section of American whiskey. With that, Michaela coming on board, our relationship with Burned Out Wineries, they've become family. We just went to the Dragons game with our baseball team that we coach. They walked the field with us. Our relationship with John Bentz, Michaela, you're a huge part of American whiskey. Jason Davis, he was part of Sip and Smoke, or was it Sip and Smoke?
Yeah.
We had a Sip and Smoke segment where we were smoking cigars and just having conversation. Jason's got to get over here soon again, and let's do that, soon. But there's so many avenues that we have taken that we want to hit them all.
Yeah.
Right.
So and this could never have happened without you guys.
Yeah. Oh, you guys.
Remember when we said we weren't going to let her coax us into freaking 2 hours?
I know.
I know. Yeah. We were definitely going to wrap it up at like 55. Like, oh my God.
Well, we'll end it on this. And when I say you guys, I'm talking about the people listening.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start. I have been getting a little bit of flack lately because you haven't been able to listen to the episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts because I've gotten lazy and
no, because you have a life. Let's just
it's hard to. It's
one
hard.
thing that I think is important to understand is we do this because we love it, but it takes a lot of extra work while we also have jobs, have lives, have families, and try and do stuff. So while we're super excited that people are chomping at the bit to get our most recent stuff out, the best and most consistent way of being able to hang out with us is watching the lives. And when we're able to post the recorded content, we'll try and get it up in a timely manner. But this thing is part of our lives, but we also have so much else going on.
Man.
Yeah,
I don't even have to cancel on each other on Fridays.
Yeah. We just have to that's part of why it's been so hit or miss. Is it's just we all understand that we're in this for the love of it, and it's not for the obligation of it. This isn't our job. This is us being able to share our excitement.
We have to put in order for this show to happen. Dilly and I. We'll be honest, we put money towards this to make this happen. So, but what I am seeing is an opportunity. And I promise you guys, I know I've heard you guys, you want to be able to listen to it on the way to work. And I promise I'm going to figure that day out to where I set time away each week to put this stuff on there. Dylan and I were talking about it. I'm the only one here that can do it because I've been doing it for 7 years.
Yeah.
There's a lot, and it doesn't take that long. But like Michaela said, when we're done down here, I want to go upstairs and love on my wife and watch a movie with her.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Michaela wants to, go do, because you got to think she's 3 hours behind us.
Yeah.
So she's going to go do her thing. And then, Dilly's got dart leagues and does his thing. So, but what I'm saying is I'll do better.
I appreciate you saying that. I hope that nobody was harshing on you, because I definitely wasn't. So
no, I've had we've had a few listeners wanting to know where they listen to it after the fact of our lives. And the last one, some of the biggest, the last few we've done were months ago that I put on there. So I am tonight, I'm going to put this one on there tonight. And then my goal is Sunday nights. I don't typically work on Mondays unless, it sounds like maybe upcoming Mondays I might be working. But my goal is going to be Sunday nights. You guys will be able to get Sip and Solve and our regular episode and whatever else we have coming up that will be uploaded on Sunday night. So you can get your dose of American whiskey, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Hey, look,
You
we
can
got
hear us in your earballs.
yes. So things are coming, and none of this has been possible without you guys, because
Yes.
all we give a fuck about, obviously it's not about money. That's for damn sure, because we make zero. But it's to look up and see that you're still listening at 10:30 at night. So that's
Yeah.
what it's about. So shout out ACOB. He's on here. Austin Smith. He's one of the original guys on our podcast that was on here. He's not on here much, but he comes to the studio sometimes. So shout out to him. But
yeah.
with that being said, I am going to upload our episode tonight. So I think we call it a night.
Yeah.
And again, anyone that's been listening the last 20 minutes, we're looking for somewhere that's haunted
Yes.
that we can set up
And record.
and
Respectfully.
record and do some investigating. So I guess as always, I'm Big Sturge.
I'm Justice League.
And I'm Michaela.
You can yell it, boy. You're right there. Go for it.
Of course, I'm the producer.
Levi.
And we are American Whiskey. Love you guys. Michaela,
Bye. I won't.
Yeah.